Now, this is my requirement. I designed these three. I designed these three with three different components. I can design this as a single component. I can design this as a single component. I can design this like a two components. I can design like a multiple component. Let us say I have designed this with three different components. When I design this like three different components, now I have a choice. I can build entire thing in a single component. I can build entire thing in two different components. I can build entire thing in three different components. Suppose if there are three different components, I am going to enter the data, click on save. Then what is my requirement? When I click on the save, first account should be saved. Then account ID should be passed as a parameter to component 2 and component 3. So when I click on the save, my requirement is look at this. I have a button here called save. When I click on the save, account should be created, and whatever the account ID we are getting, get that account ID, pass that account ID to this element, so that this contact will be created for that account, this opportunity will be created for the account. Now what is this? I have a requirement where I have three different independent components. Now once I create the account, whatever the ID I am getting, I want to pass this ID to second component, third component, because there are three independent components. Now they are going to take this ID and they are going to assign the record. They are going to assign the value of the record. They are going to assign the value of account ID equal to so and so. Account ID equal to so and so. Then they are going to insert account. They are going to insert contact. Get my point? Now, so the change happened in one component has to be passed to both the components. No, you are going to design these two as a single component. Yes, you can also do that. Then I don't require application level, component level will do. but both the elements should be in a single component. So it depends upon where the response should be handled, how many components you have, in which component the response should be handled. As per that, you will decide whether I have to go for events or not, if it is an event component level event or not, or it is application level event or not. Right. Now, if I give it like this also, two components, it is also application level event. The second one is what? Second one is what? Put everything in a single component. Put everything in a single component. Component itself is handling it. Then what is this called? Component level event. Depends upon how many components are there, where the structure. The data is should be passed to the parent or a child. Depends upon that, you will decide whether it's an application level event or component level event. In this case, where the ID should be passed to the sibling. If you want the change to be passed to the sibling, we'll go for application. If you want the change to be passed to the parent, we'll use component. As simple as that. Right? When an event is fired, the response what we got, if you want this response to the siblings or to the parent. If you want to pass it to the parent, component level. If you want to pass it to the siblings, application level. I hope you're good. I hope you're good with this.
Yes, Satish.
Let me give one quick example here. The similar structure I'll give it. I'll give the similar structure. So I'll give first let us understand this example. I'm giving one quick example. First understand this, then we'll go for our basic concept. I have this prerequisite first to understand this concept. Now, when I select this, I want the action to be performed. We are just giving a menu item. So I'll give a quick example here. So what I was supposed to give? Label action. This action I have to give whenever you change on change, we can call it. 1 minute. I'll go with list path. So I can get you some basic item through which we can find out this. Okay. There is a attribute called selected here. Button menu. Okay, let's not waste time on this. Let me design it in a different way. So look at the format I'm giving here. I'll design the example in this way. Look at this example. My requirement is enter object name, enter object name, and that's it. Whatever the object is selected, with the object I need to get element. If I select account, component should be created which will display account data. If I select the child as contact, if I define the child as contact, it should display so depends upon the option what I entered. Depends upon the option what I entered. Now, paid, create. When you click on the create, it depends upon the object name what you entered, depends upon the child object what you entered. We need to create two different components. Now I am not sure what components. So initially the page should be like this. Initially there are no elements. Even though it has a child component, there is nothing in the child component. Initially there is nothing in the child component. Initially there is nothing in the child component. Initially there is nothing in the child component. When you click on the create, when you click on the create, when you click on the create, based on the object name what you entered, based on the child what you entered, the corresponding component should be given. Now I have two choices. Object name I can enter as account or opportunity, or I can create as an account or I can create as a lead. I am not sure which object I have to create. It can be account or it can be a lead. It can be an account or it can be a lead. It can be a contact or it can be an opportunity. Now it can be a contact or an opportunity. It can be an account or it can be a lead. It can be an account or it can be a lead. Are you getting my point? It can be an account or it can be a lead. It can be a contact. It can be an opportunity. First I am creating. So it requires number of child components. You are doing one by one. Similarly, I have a component for contact. Similarly, I have So this is how we created. Now, final main component I have to create one component. This is what we have created. So let us build the home component now, parent component. In the parent component, what I am calling colon. So this is how we create. So parent component, parent object and child object. Initially there is no data here. Only parent object and child object. When I click on this, then I have to get the elements at the bottom. When I click on this, I have to get the elements at the bottom. So what was this? Now home component. In the home component, I give this. Below that I have d dot body. Right, boss. So what was that? What was there in this home component? Body was there. In the body, what will be printed? I am not sure. It depends upon the elements what you entered. Depends upon the elements what you entered. I am going to read it. Depends upon the elements what you entered. I am going to read it. Depends upon the elements what you entered. I am going to read it. Now, what is the action? Get component dot find. Read the parent value. Read the child value. If parent equal to count, If parent equal to account, then I have to create a dynamic component. $A dot create component. If parent equal to account, child equal to component contact. This is what I create. Now, based on this, we are supposed to create two dynamic components. Based on this, I was supposed to create two dynamic components. Based on this, I was supposed to create two dynamic components. Based on this, I was supposed to create two dynamic components. Okay. Now let us see how you create a component. Then what are you supposed to create? In attributes, blank, status. Then what I was giving? If status equal to success, this is what I give. Now, if you want to do this, depends upon this. Now, I cannot read the values here. I gave a code here, but actually you are supposed to handle this code where? You are supposed to handle this code where? In the home component. When you click on the home component, where is the event file? Component home. Component home. Okay. Then this should be handled by other two components. What are the other two components we have? What are the other two components? Child 1, child 2. Other two components what I have is child 1, child 2. Or else, let's say what the events. I can straight away skip the events and I can handle it to make it simple. Go back to this application. name phone industry, last name, first name, phone. Right. At a time only one should be created. In the other one, what should I do? Remove that component. Whatever the element you have pushed, you have to remove it. So next, at the same time, I give same story. Component. Go back to the application. Then else I may repeat account. Right, boss? I hope you are good with this format. So depends upon the data what we entered, we are dynamically creating the components. Now depends upon that. Generally, I thought of giving a pick list actually. If we give a pick list, whichever the object you selected, then I need to get a drop down list of fields. Basically, first what I was trying to show, my intention was to show this, but we have got stuck up somewhere. So I just move to this example. My intention was to show object. Whichever the object you are selecting, the object fields has to be displayed like visual list. This was actually my intention. So what I was trying to throw is initially no object will be displayed. Whichever the object you selected, then based on the object, I have to create a dual pick list with the list of options. That's what I thought of showing, but there's some issue with the selecting the option, so I just dropped out. So I have created this example, which will also resemble creation of dynamic components based on the values what we entered. Is that was clear? People are good with this? People are good with this? Okay. Now let us go to the LDS service, Lightning Data Service. Now let us go to the next one. Now let us go to the next concept. What is the next concept we are using? Our next concept what we are using is LDS, Lightning Data Services. What is the next word what we are using? Lightning Data Service. What is that Lightning Data Service? Right. First, if you want to understand the Lightning Data Service, we need to understand Visual Force page, Apex page, this is what I did. Why are you using standard controller in the VF page? Why are you using standard controller in the VF page? The purpose of using standard controller is to avoid server-side interaction. I don't want to write an Apex class and implement a SQL query and get the data. If you want to insert the data using the standard controller, what I can do? I can create a record, I can save the record, I can update the record, I can delete the record, or I can load the record. When I give standard controller, a new record can be created. I can save the existing record, I can enter the data and save the record, I can update the record, I can delete the record, I can load the record. What we can do with the Visual Force standard controller, what I can do with Visual Force standard controller is, if you want to refer to now, let's look at this standard controller account. Standard controller account. When you say standard controller account, we are referring to a subject. I am referring to a standard controller. When you say standard controller equal to account, we are referring to a subject. We are referring to a subject. We are referring to a subject. Then we are referring to the data. So what we are trying to do? What we are trying to do? What we are trying to do? We are trying to save the data, update the data, read the data, load the data. Create, save, update, delete, load. Right. We are going to do this. Now in this, we are trying to avoid server-side interaction. We are trying to avoid server-side interaction. We are trying to avoid server-side interaction. Right. Okay. If you want to avoid the server-side interaction, the same story we can do it in the Lightning with LDS. Just give me 1 minute pause. What is the standard? What is the standard controller? Whatever the standard controller is doing in the Visual Force page, same thing I am going to do it in the Lightning Data Services. Whatever the standard controller is going to do, whatever the standard controller is going to do, that we are going to implement in the Lightning with Lightning Data Services. Standard controller, whatever it is doing, that we are going to do with Lightning Data Service. So Lightning Data Service is a counterpart of standard controller in the Visual Force. So in the Lightning Data Service also, we can avoid effects classes, perform insertion of data, saving of data, deletion of data, uploading of data. Whatever we are able to do with the standard controller, same we can do in the Lightning Data Services with the Lightning Data Services in the Lightning. Whatever the standard controller is doing, the same operation is performed by the LDS in the Lightning. Okay, it is basically to avoid server-side interaction. Then major point here is, look at the point. What is the major point here? This is component 1, component 2, component 3. This is the database. This is what we have. Now they want to display. These 3 components are trying to use the same data. So what is happening? They used to make a database. Right. So how many connections are established? 3 connections. All the 3 components are using the same in the same page. All these 3 components are part of same parent component is there. In the parent component, there are 3 components are there. All the 3 components are referring to the same data. When all these 3 components are referring to the same data, I was establishing 3 different database connections and trying to pull the data. This is what is happening. To avoid this, people have introduced LDS. What is this LDS? database connection. So these components will go to the cache, try to fetch the data from cache. Now all this will be having only one connection because they are trying to retrieve the same record. They are trying to retrieve the same data. Only one time the call will go to the server, fetch the data, put it in the cache. From the cache, all the components will refresh. Are you getting? Previously, every component is making an independent call to database. Previously, every component is making an independent call to database. But now what is happening? We have multiple components. All of them are connected to the cache. To the cache database connection is there. Right. So we have a cache to a database connection. I hope you are good with this. Right. Now we can perform this getting the data, saving the data, loading the data, updating the data, deleting the data without writing any server side operation. This is reducing number of requests to the server, as well as it is avoiding the server side Apex code. It is avoiding number of requests, and it is having a strong cache functionality. I hope you're good. I hope you're good with this. Right. Right. Let us go to the implementation part. So, first point, if you want to implement that, I want to tell you how to add your component on the existing record. On the existing record, how to add this component. If I have a component, how will you add this component on the existing record? Why should I add? Unless you give the record ID, how can I refer to the data? I was supposed to give the record ID, then only data will be loaded. So what I was trying to do is trying to create a Visual Force component, add that component to the record. So let me give you this example. Listen carefully, boss. One of the major concept. How to add a component to the existing record page. Look at the point. Till now we never touched this. We just simply created and submitted. Now we have what? Record page. Record page. If I enable this, there will be an interface. All these are internally what? Interfaces. They will be having interfaces. When I click on this, component will implement an interface. What is the interface? Flexi page available for record home. This component is available for record home. This component is available for record home page. On the record home page means your detail page. Your detail page. In the classic we used to call detail page. The same thing we are calling as record home page. On the record home page, we can add this component. On the record home page, we can add this component as a child component. On the record home page, this component can be added. If you want this component to be available on record home page, we have to implement available for page. This will implement an interface called flexi page available for record home. Available for record home. Right now, I am not using this. I am only using this. Available for record home. Then I am creating. Look at this div. This is what I created. Then go back. Look at this. Go to opportunity, open any one of the opportunity. Now this is what record homepage. This is what record homepage. One of the opportunity open. This what you are finding is compact layout. What you are finding here is called compact layout. This is the full layout. Now once you open the record, go to setup. You are finding two extra options here. What is that? Edit page, edit object. Edit page, edit object. Click on edit page. Then let the app builder page be loaded. Let all the components be loaded. Now, why only these two components are coming here? We have created so many components till today, but only two components are given here. They are seeing here. All these are standard components and there are two custom components. Why we have implemented a flexi page available for record home page. Take that component, wherever you want. Then assign to all default. Now look at this. What did you get? We got a component here, child 1, child 2, child 3. This is a dummy component what I created and added here. Are you able to get the point? Are you clear about this? So we created a component, we are adding this component on the record home page. If you want a component to be added on the record home page, what is the functionality we have to use? Interface. We are supposed to implement an interface called flexi page available for record home. Is that was clear? Right. I will remove this component from here. The first concept is that was clear for everybody. What was that? Adding custom component on record detail page, record home page. Flexi available for record home page. Right. Next, we are given. Next point, I told Lightning data service. If you want to use a Lightning data services, we are supposed to go for has record ID interface. It has to implement an interface called has record ID. Look at the print. Look at this example. If you want to create a VF page, you are giving this. Now, if I want this page to run, how do you give the page? HTTPS. So here, whatever the ID we are giving, based on this ID, the record is fetched. Am I right? Am I right or no? Similarly, we also have force record data. Now, when I say force has record ID, that interface will ensure to read this data of the ID. The interface will ensure to read the ID of the record on which the LDS is working. Has record ID, it will ensure that you are passing the ID of the record. Has record ID, it will ensure that you are passing the ID of the record. In case if you want to implement a LDS service, it is a must that you have to implement an interface called force has record ID. Now look at these two interfaces what we have. First interface, it says what? If you want this component to be added on the record home page, If you want the record to be added on the record home page, if you want the record to be added on the home page, if you want the component to be added on the record home page, available for record home. The second one is has record ID. Second one is has record ID. Has record ID is what? Ensure that you are passing the ID of the record. Ensuring that you are passing the ID of the record. Okay. The moment I am passing the ID of the record, how will you read that record? To read the record, we have an attribute called force record data. What is the element name? Force record data. Force record data. Force record data. This is the element what we have. Force record data. This is the element what we have. Now this element is used to loading the data, reading the data, okay, referring to the data. So it has some attributes. First attribute what it has? Record ID. What is the record ID? What is the record ID? Whatever the ID of the record that has record ID is referring. I told has record ID. I told has record ID will ensure that you are passing the record ID. Has record ID will ensure that you are passing the record ID. Whatever the record ID that you are passing that has record ID has captured, that will be stored in record ID. That will be stored in record ID. Record ID. Whatever the record you are passing, whatever the ID of the record you are passing based on has record ID, that ID will be passed to this record ID. Now you told record, okay, in the record there are so many fields. What do you want to capture? What do you want to capture? There is an option, layout. What is the option we have? Layout. What type of layout is this? Full layout or compact layout. The moment I say compact layout, the top one you are finding, right? Opportunity, Salesforce admin, account name, close date, amount, opportunity. So this is what? Compact layout. This is what you are finding is full layout. The detail what you are finding there, this is what? Full layout. This is what? Full layout. Whereas this is a compact layout. Now it is asking what type of data you want to refer. Layout type, it is a full or compact. No boss, I don't want to take a layout. Why you don't want to take a layout? Today in the page layout, I kept ABC. Tomorrow, I may assign you different page layout, or I may change the fields in the layout. Now, today I am displaying ABC, so you have taken decision to display fields. Whatever the fields you want to display are A, B, C fields. There is a reason. Instead of giving the field names, you told layout equal to full. Tomorrow, you cannot guarantee the same fields will be there on the layout. Tomorrow, you cannot guarantee that the fields will not be there, okay, will be there on the layout. Today, the fields are there, but tomorrow, I cannot guarantee that the fields will be there. That is the reason, better not to go with the layout, better to go with the fields. When you say fields, list of fields which you want to refer. Fields will specify the list of fields which you want to refer from the record. If you say layout, based on the layout, the fields are captured. Based on the fields which are in the layout, they are captured. No, I don't want to go with the layout, but I want to go with the fields. You can mention the list of fields. We need to mention the list of fields which you want to take it. The next we have mode. What is the mode? Is it for what is the mode? Is it a view or edit? View means read only mode. Edit is you want to create or update the data. It is edit mode, right? So what are the attributes we have got? Fields, mode, layout type, record ID, right? So let us go with the next two attributes. Right. What was the next one we have? Target fields, target record. Now you told this record with the following fields. You told this is the record. whatever the ID of the record you have given, whatever the ID of the record you have given, whatever the ID of the record you have given, from that record with the following fields you are fetching the data. The data is referred with what? Two options are there: target record, target fields. Both of them are at the end of the game referring to the data what is fetched. Both of them are at the end of the game. Both of them are at the end of the game trying to fetch the data from the particular record, and the data is stored. But target fields is simplified version of target record. Target fields is simplified version of target record. So I will prefer to always use target fields because referring to the data from target field is very simple compared to target date. Right. So overall, what are the options we had? Record ID. What is that record ID? ID of the record which we are referring from has record ID. Next, target fields. With respect to that ID, with respect to the fields what you mentioned, what is the data we are getting? What is the data we are getting? The data is stored in target fields. With respect to the fields what you mentioned, with respect to the fields what you mentioned, with respect to the record what you gave, whatever that record we are getting, whatever the record we are getting, that record is stored in target fields. Then layout type. What you want to do? Full or compact? Fields which you want to. Either I have to give a layout type or a field, not both. Either I have to give a target fields or target record, not both. If you mention no problem, but only one we have to take. Either layout or fields. Either you have to go with the layout or fields. Second one, either you have to go with the target record or target fields. Then what we have? Mode. What is the mode? Edit or view. I hope you are good. Okay. In the LDS, what are the services we have? Get new record, reload the record, save the record, delete the record. What are the actions we have? Get new record, save record, reload the record, delete the record. These are the actions what are available. Once again, LDS is a counterpart of standard controller in the Visual Force. If you go with LDS, what is the advantage we are going to get? No need of writing any server-side operations. No need of writing any server-side operation. We can straight away get the data. We can straight away get the data and perform. Okay. Next, when you are going with a LDS, we have has a record ID. That is the interface which we are supposed to implement. That is the interface which you are supposed to implement. If you implement that interface, it will ensure that ID of the record is passed. Okay. Now, whatever the ID of the record is passed, that ID is referred with record ID. Then, if you want to refer to the data, it will ask you layout type. Is it a full or a compact? Layout type, full or a compact? Full layout or compact layout? I don't want to mention a layout. I want to tell a particular field. So I can say fields equal to list of fields what you want to refer. Then what is the mode of the view? Is it edit mode or is it a view mode? Edit mode or view mode? The next what we have? Target record or target fields. Which is simplified? Target fields is the simplified version. Target fields is the simplified version. I hope you are good with this. Okay. Now let us go to the next one. So here I had force. Then I have layout type equal to I have not mentioned anything. I just gave layout type equal to full. Now I was giving v dot record ID. I haven't mentioned anything. I simply give record data, euro ID equal to record ID. Layout type equal to full. I am referring v dot record ID. When I am giving v dot record ID, let us see how we are going to get the data. Go to this component, edit, account inner page. Save it. What is the ID of the record? 006 PQA0. What we are getting here? ID of the record. Whichever the record ID was there, the same ID I have fetched here. Same ID I fetched here. So ID of the record is fetched into the component by using hash record ID, which was referred by using what? Which was referred by using what? Record ID. Then here I am giving so this record ID with from that record with the full layout, get the record, save it in a sample. Now how we are going to read this data? V dot sample dot reload it. Now there is no data called stage name. Let me cross check. Cross check any V dot sample dot name, layout, target fields, target record. Let me refresh. Mention the fields. Layout. What is the mode we are supposed to give? Array of fields we have to give. We need to refresh it number of times to get the changes done in the LDS. There is no data in this. We have data also, right? some bug here. Let me check out what is the bug. Force record data, URA attribute, name, sample, object. So first I was creating LDS. So what was that? Record ID, anything of my choice I can take. Record ID, v dot record ID, layout. I don't want to take a layout. Fields. You want to give the list of fields, straight away we can give it, or we can give it, let's say my fields. Mode equal to view, target record, target fields. Mention it. Now what I was giving here, URA attribute,
Line number 3, Satish.
1 minute. So we have fields, we have URA attribute, name equal to sample record, right. This is what we have taken, and error message, URA attribute. Now I want to take it. Mode equal to edit. V dot sample record dot. This is what I have done. Go to the component. Still the same old component is getting displayed here. Let me make the changes. Right. So what is the data we got here? Account name Salesforce admin, stage equal to qualification. If you look at that, we are getting a account name and stage name. So let me recreate one more time. Lightning record page. If we enable it, automatically it is implementing. Then what is the first one we have? Force record data. We have URA ID. Record ID. Then fields. We can mention it or you can take it as a array. So I'll take it as a variable. We dot. Then we have target fields. View mode equal to. If you go with the view, I can say formatted fields. We have a couple of fields here which is called formatted fields. Here is a component reference. I can use formatted fields here, formatted text. I can use a formatted text and display the value. Formatted text, I'll go with the formatted text. Then what you are supposed to create, boss? Gira. Here also we have Yura type equal to string record mute. Now we'll give either fields or layout, not both. We'll give either fields or layout. Either we'll give layout or we'll give fields, anyone. If you look at the previous example, here I gave target fields. I gave target fields. I didn't give layout. I didn't give layout. Either fields or layout, any one will do. Then what I was supposed to do? Go to the object. Edit page. Scroll down. Then we have account view. Then here we add Go to the particular record, open the record. So what we received here? Name, Gini Point, industry, biotechnology. Because we are going with a view, we are going with a view mode. We are going with a view mode. The same thing I want to make it as edit mode. So what I will do? I will make it as edit. Value equal to dot sample dot. Now I made it as edit mode. You got the records as edit mode. Right? Now there I will create a button. When you click on the button, action will be filed. The rest of the event will be the same. In the component I am going to create. So on the account detail page, I want to create an action called create a contact, create an opportunity. I'll create a custom component, I'll add it. Create an account, create a contact. When you click on that, creation of contact page will be opening. I'll be showing it. Now let us see. Now here we have, look at the point. Log a call, new event, email. You don't know what you are going to select. Based on the option what you selected, you want to get the corresponding page. Now, due date, log a call, new event, everything is independent, right? Everything is independent. So I want to create the same similar type of component on my custom page. Whichever you select, the corresponding input components or output components will come. I'll enter the data, click on the button, corresponding action will be performed. Did you get my point here? Now, once again, I'll quickly revise the points. Once again, I'll quickly revise the points. What is the Lightning Data Service? What is the Lightning Data Services? It is a counterpart of Visual Force. It is trying to avoid server-side interaction. It will avoid the server-side Apex interaction, try to perform the DMLs on the object, like what a standard controller is going to do. What type of action? Loading the record, saving the record, deleting the record, loading the record, saving the record, deleting the record, updating the record. These are the actions what we can perform. Same actions will be done. But if you want to create a component, add that component to the record home page, first what we are supposed to do is we are supposed to implement a flexi page available for record home. Flexi page available for record home. At the same time, if you want to use LDS service, we are supposed to implement an interface called force has record ID. Now it ensure that ID of the record is passed. It will ensure that ID of the record is passed. Next one. Once you are done with this, if you want to use the LDS, we have a component called force record data. The force record data attributes we have record ID. It will refer to the ID of the record which is referred by as record ID. Then we have fields. If you want to mention, there are two choices. We can say layout or we can say fields. If you want to refer to the fields from the layout, you can say layout full, layout compact. I can say layout full, layout compact. I can say layout full or I can say layout compact. If we say layout, the problem is we cannot guarantee always the fields what we want will be there on the layout. There is a reason I'll go with the fields. Then we have target record, target fields. Target record, target fields. Both of them are referring to the record along with the fields. In that record, these fields are fetched, the data is referred by target fields. In case if there is any error, in case if there is any error, in case if there is any error, that is given as target error. Mode can be edit or mode can be view. Mode can be edit or mode can be view. Mode can be edit or mode can be view. If you say view, it will be readable mode. If you say edit, it is the input format as per your choice. Okay, I hope you are good with this. Clear? Shall we do one example? Create one example to refer to the data from. Create one example to refer to the data from opportunity. Create one component which will refer to the data from opportunity. Create a component which will refer to